When I first awoke, started to awaken, because it's a process that goes on. I met a psychic in 1990, and stuff came through her, all of which has turned out to be true. And one of the things that was said to me through her was, it said I was going to go out on a world stage and reveal great secrets and all that stuff. And what are you talking about? You know, I'm a television presenter. But one of the things it said was, the message that said, no need for arduous searching. It was all basically arranged a long time ago. The path is set. You just have to follow the clues. And when I look back at the last 20 years of my life, and you must look at yours too, going back even longer in terms we're talking about, it has been like puzzle pieces just handed to you, and that's not happened for a bit of fun. Okay, we've handed you a few puzzle pieces, and so you know a bit more. Okay, it's over now. No, it's leading somewhere. And where it's leading is this control system is, like everything, founded on a vibrational information blueprint. It's its foundation. And when that's unpicked, the control system must fall. And there are people who have come into this reality, or at least are looking into this reality, which I think we do more likely, who have a specific interconnected role in contributing to the unpicking of that blueprint. And it's coming down. It's coming down. It's destiny. It is written, however people want to put it. It will come down dramatically quickly once it reaches a certain point of being destabilized. And it's not going to be brought down by protests in the street, although, you know, protest by all means, as long as it's peacefully. It's not going to be brought down really by things happening in this reality, although that may contribute. It's going to be brought down by unpicking this vibrational lock, this vibrational blueprint on which this reality has been seized, hijacked, suppressed, and controlled.
Jordan, what do you think? Because you have not always felt as optimistic as that, have you?
I think David is right, but what he said originally, I was totally in that category of the people. I say humanity in mass, the human race, is not able to protect itself. It cannot set up any defense for itself. It's like, and we talked about this morning, I look at the human race on the earth as animals on the Serengeti plains of Africa. They're just out there by the thousands, just doing what they normally do. They're just in the sun with their offspring, trying to make a living, trying to stay alive, while the lions are creeping up on them. Because this is why good people have never been organized. Good people see no reason to get organized. It's only criminals that get organized. And the kind of people who are in power because they want that power. And they have sold their souls to get into that power position. And the human race is just never going to be able to stand up against these kind of people who are organized and vicious in their pursuit. But, and that's why I felt for so many years that it's just hopeless. and so what I wanted to do is just be able to, for the people who do want to know, for those people who are waking up and want to know, I want to be there to at least give them the best that I have been given, the best that I've been able to give, to be given. But, and I still have reservations about where we're ultimately going to end up as a human race. But there does seem to be some kind of a spiritual otherworld matrix at work. And that's what I'm really hoping for, is that we have cosmic companionship in what we're doing, and that there is something else going on, like the Knights Templar said, as above, so below. and I'm beginning to believe that there is something to this idea that we are all not, we're not doing this by ourselves.
Well, the idea of cosmic companionship is one that you've been telling us about for quite a long time, because you've had direct personal experience of this.
Yeah.
So there's your evidence.
Even with that direct personal experience, I still am very fearful. I still have profound doubts about everything, which is absolutely ludicrous, because I've been given so many opportunities and heard so many good things and had so many experiences that prove to me that I have protection and guidance, and yet I'm still on the human side. I'm afraid to go out. I'm afraid because I know what these people at the top are like, and I know that they're not human as such. So they don't mind killing. They don't mind tearing me and throwing you into prison or whatever. And I'm afraid of. I'm fearful for my life. And like I said, I've had some very serious things, not just threats, but them knocking on the door, showing up, feds knocking on the door with subpoenas and warrants for my arrest. The sheriff was out with a warrant for my arrest. I've had the federal government indicting me for and some very serious stuff. And at the last moment, someone somewhere stepped in and crushed it.
That was like the guy that you were talking about when Credo was just about to be set on fire. Somebody shouted, "Stop!" It's the same. It's the same principle.
At the last moment,
it's the same principle.
Someone stepped in and saved me.
I think this last moment stuff, and I've had it myself, is part of the preparation, because the last moment means you have to trust. And I've reached the point now where no matter what's going on, I trust the outcome, that it's going to be fine.
I agree with you.
And I get more and more optimistic the more that I know, and the more that I expand my own awareness, the more optimistic I get. These people are powerful within a box the size of a pea. And they have to keep humanity in a smaller box than they're in. It's not that they're all powerful. It's not that they're all knowing and omnipotent. They have created a vibrational control structure in which they are in a box, a tiny box. Yes, they have some intellectual capacity which allows them to play with technology. But it's an intellectual, it's a vibrational box. And they are limited to that box because of their state of being, because of their need to control. And what does the need to control mean? It means you are in a state of extreme insecurity. Only insecure and fearful people want to control others and want to control events. People who are at peace with themselves, they are quite happy to flow and take the outcome that comes.
That's right. If there wasn't a threat to them, there wouldn't be any need to control anybody. You wouldn't have to have any of these structures here.
The entities behind the control system and their hybrid middlemen and women, they strut around as if they are full of self-confidence and all the rest of it. But again, well, I have anyway, met so many strutters. And then you get behind that front, and there's a frightened little person behind it. The strut is just to hide the frightened little person. And that's what we're dealing with here. So to control humanity as they have had to put humanity in a smaller box than they're in. And so they have created this control system that is designed to isolate the awareness of the target population within the five-sense reality, and to disconnect us, or disconnect our awareness of higher levels of consciousness. Once you, as a human being, break out of that vibrational straitjacket of five-sense domination, and you start to expand your consciousness, you are expanding it beyond the box that they are limited to and cannot expand out of unless they change their state of being, and if they change their state of being, they no longer want to control anybody anyway. So whether we expand beyond their box or whether they expand beyond their own box, the control system must fall either way. Either they don't want to control anymore, or they ain't going to be in control, because the expansion of human consciousness is going to bring an end to the control. We create our reality in our heads like a computer decodes information from the wireless internet. The base construct of this reality is an information, waveform information construct. And just like the wireless internet, it's here, all around us. And we are decoding it through the body computer into a holographic world that only exists in our head. Therefore, what we decode dictates our experience.
Can you see this, Jordan, among some of the people around you, that these changes are taking place?
We are all three agree that the human race is being dominated by higher intelligences or inhuman or other than human, I would say off-world intelligences. And my question is, or my thought is that until something is done about this other world presence that's been building this world for us and keeping us stupid, until something is done about them, what do you think is going to be the outcome? Because unless this reptilian or other world intelligences, whoever they are, and I'm totally convinced that we are being manipulated as a human race by other world intelligences.
Right.
And if that is true, then no matter how much we are awakening and spiritually evolving, something's got to be done about them, so to speak.
Well, I would say that this is all completely connected. This vibrational change, this expansion of consciousness, these truth vibrations, this next epoch, this new yuga of human experience, it is a vibrational quickening. Now, that vibrational quickening carries a new, higher level of knowledge, awareness, understanding. This is why the people tuning to it are suddenly, whoa, seeing themselves in the world in a different way. But it's not just about affecting humans. It's affecting the reality itself. And these manipulating non-human entities and other entities as well, and there's some benevolent non-human entities involved a lot, are also being affected by this vibrational change. And their vibrational home stadium is the old epoch, the old energetic construct. And they built this control system on the old energetic construct. And part of that has been the fact that humanity, connected consciously to that energetic construct, has been in a state of suppression. Instead of expanded awareness, it's been like, oh, I'm just Joe Public, or I'm Charlie Smith and Ethel Jones, and I've got no power. So that makes the control system real easy. As we expand beyond the box they're in, because we can, then that becomes more and more difficult. But that's only one level of it. The real thing that's bringing an end to the control system is the very vibrational basis on which it's been built. This density is breaking up. For me, it's absolutely no accident that it's at this very time when these truth vibrations, I call them, are starting to massively impact on human awareness. My goodness me, I mean, I remember 20 years ago, I mean, my goodness me, things have changed, Jordan, haven't they, in terms of the number of people who are going, whoa, hold on a second, the life's not like I thought it was. I'm not like I thought it was. So these truth vibrations are impacting on very, very powerfully already. And the whole thing is going to move on. And so it's no accident, like I say, that it's at this time when this is happening that they're throwing everything at us in terms of the control system. They've got HARP, which is in many ways there to create a sub-reality, because it's sending out radio waves on the same frequencies as brain waves to try to affect the way we think and suppress our thoughts. They're filling people with chemical cocktails in food and drink to destabilize the body's ability to tune into these changing vibrations. They're creating a sub-reality through microwaves and electromagnetic pollution. Even mainstream media is talking about this soup we live in now, particularly in the cities. They want to bring the microchips in to externally suppress the vibrational state and the electrical state of the body, so we're not tuning into this new awareness that's there to be tuned into. When you are in a state of fear and chaos and what's happening and oh my God, you are in a low vibrational state. That's what fear is. That's why we say, oh, I feel so tight today, I feel so heavy today. Heavy, it's a low vibrational state. So another thing that they're doing at this time is trying to create as much chaos in the world, so that chaos through, not least through the global economy, etc., and wars and what have you, terrorism, because they want to make that affect our vibrational state. And there's so many other things, of course, we could all list. And it's no accident that they're throwing that at us now, just as this epoch-changing vibrational change is happening, because they're desperately trying to defend. I would say this, and I've been saying it for a while, what is happening now is not about these people gaining more power, because they've had all the power they wanted up to this point, because while humanity was not aware that they were being manipulated, they weren't aware that their resources were being stolen, they weren't aware that their energy was being vampired, these guys could go on controlling us forever in that stage. Then what is happening now is not about them gaining more power. It is their desperate last death throw attempt of the control system to hold on to the power it already had. And the reason that it's now manifesting is because they can see down what we call the timeline from their level of observation just outside of our visible light reality, and therefore they could see this time coming. They've been preparing for this for ages, to throw it in now. And that says many things. It says an incredible thing about what's happening, and that is the power of this transformation, the power of this awakening is so profound that they have to throw all this stuff at us to try to head it off. And they will head some people off. They will keep some people in the box. The next few years, it ain't going to look for a second as if, from the perspective of the vast majority of people on this planet, that anything's happening other than the control system is getting its way.
In the Jewish tradition of mysticism, there's the idea of a golem, and this was a monster which can be created out of your thinking that actually becomes a living monster.
Right.
But it requires the collectively thinking about this monster, and it comes into being. Once it comes into being, it has its own agenda.
It has its own awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it requires everyone believing that it's here first, and then it can be brought into being. It's called the golem. And it's, as I said, it's a very old, ancient Jewish idea that you can create a monster if you believe it. I mean, I've been talking about the influence of the dark side manipulating us as far back as 63, 62. And but I feel that there's some kind of a otherworld intelligence that is manipulating us, and probably it has been here before we humans were here, and it represents a very, very powerful presence, evil presence. I'm sure, as you have said, you're right that there is and Bill, you have said the same thing about there is a spiritual balance in the universe, and that there's a good side also. But I feel unless and until this other world power is exposed, we as humans are not going to be able to extricate ourselves from this tragedy. The world has got to understand that we're not being ruled by humans. We are being ruled by an other world, off planet.
I completely agree with that. And of course, we're at one on that. My feeling is that there are other forces. See, I'm not talking about humans removing that. I'm talking about humans waking up to it, and some humans have come here, what we call humans, because we're just consciousness, humans just a program on this planet, have come here to play a major part in removing that by removing its vibrational blueprint.